Hello and welcome to this month's recording of Miss Dr. Kenya. We are at the end of the school year, and so I thought it fitting to end the school year with our youth council. So for those of you who are new to the Miss Dr. Kenya audience, the youth council are the youth who have helped us to understand the statistics. So we've been looking at statistics around anxiety and depression and how these things and others impact learning in schools. And they have helped us to understand how they experience that personally. And so the youth council are the young women and young men who give a voice to the data that we look at. And so we have been meeting with them month after month after month since the school year started. And it just makes sense to end the school year, just checking in with them to find out how they are doing, what they're looking forward to, and to get some words of wisdom from them. We have 4 members of the youth council who are here with us. Joseph is doing track invitationals right now. So Joseph, we are with you. We hope that you are winning and that you take the first place trophy. And Darren, who was with us on the bullying episode, she is in Hatmudo, so she too is involved in sports. We will be sharing an update with them at the end of this recording, but with no further ado, I do want to introduce the 4 members of the Youth Council who are here with us today. I want to start with Lang. Lang, how are you doing today?
I'm good.
Good. I'm glad to see you this morning. Then I'm going to go to Fola.
Hello.
Now.
Hey.
And Ayema.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show.
Okay, so if you remember, Joseph was our first guest, and he just talked about having a healthy start of the school year. Lang and Darren were in the bullying episode. Fola helped us to understand how mental health impacts learning. Now participated in a special Miss Dr. Kenya looking specifically at the statistics for the mental health for Black men. And Ayema came on as a follow-up to the episode with Now, talking about his own personal experiences. So thank you, Lang, Fola, Now, and Ayema for your contributions thus far. And I just want to check in with you and see how you're doing. So I'm just going to throw that question out to the group. How are y'all? How are you doing? What went well for you this school year?
So this school year, it went by pretty fast. I remember it being like September not too long ago, and the school year, it went by too fast. It feels a little bit weird how fast it went for me personally. But that's how my school year went, just really, really quick.
So it sounds like you had an amazing school year now. Time flies when you're having fun. So I'm assuming that you had a good school year.
It was fine. I'm just still a little bit confused how fast it went. But my school year, yeah, it was fine overall.
Lang, Fola, Ayema, how was your school year? How did things go for you?
Mine was good. I also agree it went pretty quickly, but I had a lot of friends in my class, so it kind of helped.
Not only that, Lang, but I had a recent conversation with your mom. Like, weren't you recently honored as the student of the month?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you had an amazing school year. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
My school year, it started off rocky. I won't lie. It was I wasn't making the best decisions in school, I would say. And I think that had a lot to do with like how I was doing outside of school. And I think it was just reflecting in school. And I had to really turn around, sit down with myself, do some introspection and be like, okay, let's get it together. Let's make the best decisions for myself. And I think once I started doing that, I started trying more in school. I started going to tutorial, asking my teachers for help, and that ultimately helped me grow in school. And um, also this school year, we focused a lot on college stuff because I'm a junior now, which has been a big transition because it kind of was always up in the air from ninth grade, but now we're actually have to sit down and they're like, okay, you have to do this and this and this, which is kind of stressful, but it's also exciting at the same time. Starting to talk about what college I want to go to and just the possibility of how it could end up. So my school year has been great, a great year of growth and yeah, coming into myself, I guess.
I love that. I appreciate you for referring to your school year as a great year of growth, because growth is needed and necessary, but it does not always feel good. So thank you, Fola, for your perspective. Ayema, how did your school year go?
Um, Thank you for asking, Dr. Kenya. My school year, my school year was very interesting. It was very, very interesting. We started, definitely, it felt like yesterday. So to Mr. Niles' point, I mean, obviously, as we went through it, it didn't feel as short, but it's like, wait a second, it's already May. So it's pretty much over. But you know, because I do college and high school, so I've gone through 2 college semesters in my senior year. Um, a lot of changes happened this year. Um, you know, the school year was rocky for me and my some of my community. There was some loss. Um, there were like, focusing on school, in and out of, things like that, just trying to regain that new passion for it. Because one thing I will say is that senioritis is no joke. It's not funny. I mean, the senioritis, it got me, but I fought back. I fought back. And so now it's just a time where we're finishing finals for high school, college. Took my last final today. The last day of school was 2 days ago. So it's all over.
So when you say it's all over, are you telling me that you've already done prom and all of that? So all you're looking forward to now is graduation?
Oh no, so my prom is next week. Next week is prom for my particular school, and graduation is a little later. But just as far as education, um, I mean, I got my certificates for my program and everything. So all the ceremonies and everything, that's what's done.
I'm going to pick on you just like I picked on Lang, right? Lang did not mention that he was identified as the student of the month. And you've had an amazing opportunity this school year also that I didn't hear you mention. So I'm going to pivot right back to you and ask you to tell the people about your experience.
My experience for just senior year as a whole.
No, your experience with going out of the country and having doing that. I know you
Oh,
didn't forget about that. Come on now.
oh, well, that's actually very interesting that you say that, because that opportunity came to me not randomly, but it definitely came to me as kind of like this was not a coincidence. This was not a coincidence. And so, Dr. Kenya, you and I both know we attend the same church, and I met with one of the people in my community there, um, and she was a leader with a nonprofit organization that worked with another one of the nonprofit organizations that I was a part of years ago, to go to Paris. So I was originally going to be in the first cohort, but COVID came, wiped everything out. So none of us got a chance. It was pretty disheartening, but we stayed in it throughout the whole pandemic. We got on Zoom calls and we studied. And even though we didn't even know if we were going or not, we still put our best foot forward. And we saw each other at church, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm going to Paris. You're coming." You know what I mean? And so it's like, you're a senior too. This is the last year you can come. Like, we have to bring you along. And so I was very honored and very blessed to be invited to go on that trip. Shout out Going Global with Barbara in the spring 24 cohort. And that experience was absolutely amazing. To all of my, fellow seniors, to the uprising seniors, the juniors, and even the sophomores, start as early as you can and try to find that study abroad, right? Whether it's a summer, if it's a week, if it's a weekend, just try and see, right? Because seeing is believing. So we went out to Paris. We had a little Airbnb, little penthouse, and we enjoyed ourselves. I mean, we went to the Eiffel Tower. We went to the Arc de Triomphe. We went to the Louvre Museum. Um, where else did we go? We also went to Gallery Lafayette. We went to the Paris College of Arts. We went to American University of Paris, because it was an educational trip. So that experience was completely eye-opening. Just being able to see that there's so much outside of this area that we're in. There's so much more culture. There's so much more knowledge. There's so much more to experience. Um, it was amazing. Definitely brushed a little bit on my French there too. So it was awesome.
Thank you for sharing that, Ayem. It does. It sounds like it was an amazing opportunity. I'm glad that you had that experience. Fola and now, I do want to give you guys an opportunity to to catch us up, and let us know, what are you most proud of, as it relates to your school year this year? Like, what really stands out for you? Fola, I'm going to start with you. You identified this year as a year of growth. So what was your takeaway from this school year?
One thing I'm most proud of this year is, okay, this one honors pre-calc is something I started this year. I went from algebra 2 to honors pre-calc, and that was one of the biggest jumps I've ever done because it was so hard. And my teacher is just he moves very quickly, so I had to get accustomed to that. And I think instead of just giving up and kind of being defeated, instead, the amount of work you put in is what you'll get out, which is something I learned taking that course. And I started just, even if I had to learn things at home on my own or go to him in what we have tutorial after school, I just had to stick with it and get through it. And I'm proud of myself because it reflected in my grade, but also just in the amount of effort I chose to put in. Because I could have just been like, well, this is too hard. I just end with the F. But no, I decided to stick with it and I got through it. And I'm almost done. I just have to do that final and then I'm over it. So yeah.
Amazing, amazing. When is the final, Fola?
Our finals in 2 weeks. So I think the week of the 27th, maybe. Yeah.
Okay, so on the week of the 27th, I'll be thinking about you, and I want you to text me and let me know when you finish the final and you pass it, because we already know that you're going to pass it.
Okay. Thank you.
Now, what are you most proud of, for this school year?
I'm most proud of, getting through the school year quickly. I didn't really do anything this school year. I mean, my grades were pretty good, but nothing significant didn't happen this year. It was just like a quick year.
Okay, thank you for that. Now in Lang, was there anything that you wanted to to share with us in addition to you being identified as a student of the month? I think it was this month as well. Is there anything else that you're proud of that you did this school year?
Well, this year was our first years ever writing essays, and that was like big struggle for English because for 2 quarters, that was like 50% of my grades.
Wow.
And I got a tutor just like the end of last quarter because we're in fourth right now. And she's been helping me write essays, and I'm getting better at it. So
Well, let me say this, Lane, because you're in middle school and you have to write essays using APA format. And I don't know if how big of a deal if that you know that that is, but writing in APA format is something that they require of college students. So the fact that you are in middle school and writing essays using APA format, that is no small feat. I want you to know that. That's pretty big. And Ayema and Fola and now can tell you about APA style. So you really are ahead of the game. Okay, so when you say that you got a tutor to help you, that's nothing to be ashamed of at all, especially in middle school. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret here. I teach at the master's level. I teach master's level social work courses. So these are people, you're in middle school, right? So they would have to go through high school, college, and then grad school to get to me. And I am still helping them with APA style. So I am extremely impressed and proud of you for learning how to adapt and write an essay using APA style, especially in middle school. I hope you know that that's a big deal. Do you?
yes, I felt like that was really important, and I should learn that. Like I think didn't you have to write an essay to like for college application?
Well,
Oh,
we have some experts in the room. Ayema, do you have to write essays to go to college? Fola, you're a junior. Do you have to write essays to go to college?
Absolutely. I'll say, Mr. Lang again. Well, just to echo what Miss Dr. Kenny said. That's amazing because we write an MLA, we write an MLA, APA, and nobody likes Chicago. But I will definitely say that as you progress, learning which writing style enhances your voice, I think that's what you should definitely focus on. If that's APA, stick to APA and be great at it. If that's MLA, learn MLA and be great at it. But the way that I reduce a lot of that stress is just by remembering that it's all just format. These are just formatting things. It's just about which last name goes first or which comma goes where. So that that should help in the process of taking out majority of the stress. But you before you even get to college, you might have to consider writing an essay for high school. I had to write an essay to get into my high school, to get into its specialty program. So whatever you want when you pursue the best for you, you just have to make sure that your writing can speak for you and you know how to advocate for yourself. So very, very, very proud of you, man. That's dope.
thank you.
Fola, did you have any words for Lang as he wonders whether or not he'll have to write a essay for college?
Um, well, you do have to write an essay for college. In my school, we have this course called Junior Jumpstart, and we have to start um, practicing something called a personal essay, which is like 650 words that speak to who you are, and you have to submit it to colleges when you're applying. And I think Ayeme said it's supposed to just let it speak to who you are. I think that's really important. And also, something that helped me when I'm writing essays is just have an outline of what I'm writing about. And I think that helps you know what you want to talk about. And yeah, but he summed it up perfectly. And good job, Lang. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Fola, that's amazing advice. Shout out to the outline. The outline is what keeps you focused and makes sure that you are writing an essay that makes sense. I wish I could find a different way to say that, but it makes sure that your thoughts are clearly articulated, so on and so forth. So yes, the outline is the key. Um, to Ayema's point, there are other ways to format, but most colleges these days are requiring that you write an APA format. So I'm glad that you are, learning that and getting that under your tool belt. So as you guys can see, amazing kids who are ebbing and flowing with all the things in life, but with life comes challenges. So again, I'm going to ask you guys, you talked about all of the wonderful things that you guys have done, and you guys have done some amazing things. If nothing more than survive the school year, you deserve a round of applause for that alone. What were some challenges you experienced this school year?
So I didn't experience many challenges this school year. Thinking about it, it was just like some assignments were like hard, and some of the teachers, they assign like a lot of work, and they seem to like grading all the work. And the classes are big, so I don't understand why they assign so much work. The classes are supposed to be like, high level, but still they assign like way too much work, and they seem to like grading it. And I don't understand because they have a lot of classes and they have to spend all that time just grading the work. So that was like one of my challenges. But overall, I didn't have many challenges. The school year went by pretty smoothly. So that's all I have to say.
So now when you got overwhelmed with the amount of work that you had in any given week or month, how did you manage? What was your strategy to try to keep up with everything?
So my strategy was to just do it all at once and just get it over with to reduce stress.
Okay, like I use a similar strategy like in my weekly schedule, I do have work blocks. So you had work blocks where you can just sit down and get everything done. Thank you for that. That's a good strategy, good tip. Appreciate that.
I'll probably follow up on that. I'll say life definitely started lifing. Um, it definitely started to kick in for me this year. Um, I mentioned earlier just like experiencing loss in my in my community. So, watching a community really like not necessarily crumble, but just kind of really become dejected was it was hard.
Mhm.
Um, being overwhelmed this year, and senioritis. Uh, Oftentimes, it really just comes in the form of like that assignment. It's not hard, but it also doesn't weigh that much. You know what I mean? And so those assignments will pile up. And I thank God that I wasn't really into the whole like procrastination process because that's the only thing that saved me. Um, but I'll definitely say the challenges that I faced were motivation.
Mhm.
Motivation. Those were probably the biggest things that attacked me this year. And it starts as simple as getting up, like, you know what I mean? Parents, I really implore you to understand that just the same way it's hard for you to wake up for that job and remember that it's like, I'm really, really tired today, but I have to get to this job or I have to do this responsibility because I must provide. We as young people don't have the factor of providing it. We don't have the factor of responsibility and weight of others on our shoulders. So once we approach that obstacle of I'm tired, I don't want to get up, the world is ending for us. You know what I mean? And so it takes a lot of grace and it takes a lot of patience, you know, for your loved ones to really just understand that if the biggest problem for you is to get up in the morning, and you need a little bit of extra support, then that's what you need to get there. So just waking up, motivation, um, and finishing school.
Yeah, my motto is when motivation is running low, discipline and routine will see you,
Correct.
right? Because we all know that motivation will run low. We are all people.
Yep.
And we're not excited all the time about all the things. But when that happens, discipline and routine will definitely see you through. Thank you for that. Fola and Lang, any challenges that you face this year that you have not already shared?
Just a challenge was math and technology because they have big grades like technology. We just did a Black History project that was 75% of our grade for the quarter. And I finished it like 2 Thursdays ago. And I was able to get extra credit because I did a couple extra slides on it.
Very good.
And math, I got like C's in past quarters, but right now I'm holding an A, surprisingly. But those were my two big struggles. Every other class, I have like A's and B's.
Well, Lane, that's pretty tough. If one grade is worth 75% of your grade, you had better do good on that one particular task because it will definitely kill your grade. So I understand how that could have been scary and overwhelming for you, for sure.
Yes, but just this week we started pop quizzes. They just came out of nowhere. And social studies and reading, it was like 28 questions out of 30. So that was tough.
Yeah, yeah, it sounds like it. Fola, any challenges that you had this year that you have not already articulated?
Besides the one I already shared, something that was hard for me was time management. I feel like I got a lot of work this year, like a lot of work from all my teachers. It's like they weren't communicating with each other like the amount of work to give us. And then I also joined sports. So I was doing cheer in the winter and now I'm doing track. So having to have practice after school every day. And then if I was procrastinating as well, the work I had to do before, then it all got pushed to the end of the day or to the weekend. And then I never had time to have a break or do things I like because I always had to do work and practice and then meets or performances or things like that. So all managing that, I don't think I did a great job this year. That's definitely an area of growth I want to work on for next year. But just spending time, I guess not procrastinating when I get my work, doing it, getting it out the way, so I have time for myself later, is something I'm going to work on. Yeah.
Okay, so I heard everybody really talk about um managing your workload, right? And ironically, that's something that's going to stick with you throughout life. So as we talk about, as we reflect upon the year, the good things and the challenging things, one of the things that I had to challenge that have been challenging for me have been the things that you guys have already shared. First of all, as an entrepreneur, being motivated, staying motivated. It's easier said than done, right? When you are interacting with people and you want them to find value in your products and services, like rejection is part of the process because the product does not fit for everyone. And you understand that in your logical mind. But sometimes after you get 2 or 3 rejections in a row, it can it can take away your motivation. But staying focused, staying disciplined, staying in on a routine helped me to keep going. So my challenge, I think that one good thing for me this year was learning from you guys. I have had a chance to talk to students all over the country actually, and really picking their brain in reference to what are some of the obstacles that stop them from seeking mental health. And what I have heard from young people over and over again is that I keep hearing adult pressure. And by adult pressure, what I'm learning is that young people your age, right, middle school, high school, college age, feel like if they come to an adult and share how they're feeling, that the adult won't understand, will take what they're saying out of context, and or will force them to participate in therapy or to do something that they're not quite yet ready for. And then there's also a fear that what they share will be disclosed. And because of that, most young people tend to look for peer support groups. And I get it. Like, I understand that you will probably feel more comfortable having conversations with people your same age. However, there will have to come a point where you need to speak with a professional, AKA an adult, when you really need that higher level of help. And so having those conversations have really helped me to better understand the needs of my audience, which is the youth council, right? And to better serve you. So I've had some ups and I've had some downs this year myself. I didn't go to France, but I went to Italy with my mother and my daughter, and we had an amazing time. So, yes, we are separated by 1 or 2 decades, but we pretty much so have had the same experiences. So thank you guys for being vulnerable, open and honest and sharing about your experiences this school year. I do truly appreciate you. And now I'm going to ask you guys, if you don't mind, just to share some wisdom with the group younger than you. So Ayema is heading to college, so I'm going to ask him to share words of wisdom with Fola and Now. Now and Fola are in high school, so I'm going to ask them to share words of wisdom with Lang. Lang is in middle school, and he is going to close us out with words of wisdom for students in elementary school. So with that, I'm going to yield to you, Ayema.
Thank you, Ms. Dr. Kenya. Well, guys, the first thing is to definitely accept the fact that it's over. So make your memories, have fun. Junior year is the last year that you really have to do the hard work, and you got to start working on skills that will prepare you for after high school. The transition is very big. Your senior year is going to go by very fast because you don't have a full year. So time management. Although I was facing all the things I was facing this year, I also knew that every Friday, one of my my cybersecurity networking class, all of its assignments are due on Friday. So come Tuesday after class or Wednesday when I don't have class, knock out as much as you can, right? Because my cybersecurity Python class and computer security class is all due Sunday. So, as the faster you finish your work, the more time that you have to spend in between your work. And so this year I made up my mind to just put everything aside, like all of that extracurricular. Like it's good to have fun. You can have fun, absolutely, but it's like you have to make a decision. Are you gonna succeed or not? You know what I mean? So you can't pick or choose. You gotta choose one and stick with it. So my best advice to you is make up your mind, stick to, being a scholar, study when you can, work when you can, and be ready to make sacrifices. Be ready to say no to certain things, to certain people. Protect that time of yours because you cannot get it back, and protect your energy. Because every single time you say, oh, sure, I'll be here. Oh, sure, I'll go there. You want to go to the gas station? Well, sure, I'll come with you. Every single time you just keep expending yourself, it will take a toll because you're never just resting. You're never just chilling. Another tip, schedule. Learn how to schedule. I scheduled this entire year before it even happened. So get a schedule that works, right? If you know that you can handle, say, for me, I chose Tuesdays and Thursdays. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm going to be at college pretty much all day, right? So from 10 a.m. to about 12, from 12:30 to about 2, from 6 p.m. to 9:30, those were my classes in the beginning of the year, right? But Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I didn't have uh, college. So with all of that time, I replaced that time with a job, right? Because those are things that you are also going to start to, matriculate into, getting jobs and, being a little bit more successful, trying to make your mark in the business world as well, right? Because education isn't everything. It makes the world one because you got to have this, but you also have to be productive and you got to add value to wherever you are. So schedule. Be manageable, very manageable of your time, and please communicate. I can't stress that enough. Communication is key. It's really, really important. There's going to be a lot of opportunities that pass you by. So make connections, communication and make connections. Those are like my golden rules. Go speak to your counselors, go speak to your administrators, try and find a mentor, because once you walk that stage, like even now, it's kind of hitting me because I don't have college anymore. Like I'm done after today was my last final. So I'm done with high school. I'm done with college. So what do I do with my time? You know what I mean? Like what do I do? Right? There's going to be a season of where you're just kind of like, uh, 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 you know what I mean? So that's what a mentor is for. A mentor is going to be there to say, hey, instead of focusing on what you don't have going on, look at what you could have going on. And so then that way, that mentor will realign you into wherever you want to be, and you'll still be on your path to find a goal. Internships. That's another big thing. And this is to middle schoolers as well, because their internships is out there. Once you reach that certain age, you're 14, you're 15, go get an internship. Get as much experience as you can, learn from as many people as you can, and be ready to distribute that knowledge and bring other people up with you. So far we got scheduling, we got time management, communication, connecting, and internships. So these are really, really big core pillars that are going to help shape your senior year. And don't get caught up in the spring. Don't get caught up in the spring, because senior spring it can be very distracting. There's going to be a lot of distractions because you're going to have a lot of time on your hands. Just make sure you find something that keeps you productive and hold yourself accountable. So to go right back to my first point on that scheduling, get a calendar. I have a calendar in my phone, but everybody knows you're not on your phone. And the first thing you say is, let's go check my calendar app. No, get an in-person calendar. Put it in your room, put it in the bathroom, put it in the kitchen. I don't know. Wherever you can see it every day, get a calendar. And it only takes about 30 minutes, but get a pen, write down the thing that you have to do that month, or you can start with the week. And that way you'll stay on top of your game. And it has really saved me, because when you're going through so many things, senior, you got to sign this, you got to sign that, you got to do this application and that application. You start to forget things. So that scheduling and that calendar is very, very important. And senioritis is coming for you. Be prepared. You are not going to run from it. You're not, no, nobody can help you with senioritis. It is going to be you versus you. So just keep your eye on the prize. The way I started to combat senioritis, when I realized that senioritis is just a lack of motivation, because after all the stressing, Niall and Fola, you guys were talking about how much work is being due. When you realize you only have one class or two classes and you're like, no more stress, I'm gonna go to sleep. Like, like just put a picture of maybe a family member with a graduation cap on, a saying or a quote that gets you going. And that is going to be the way that you fight it. So just be on the lookout for senioritis. because it is coming. And most important, most important piece of advice, and the last important piece of advice is have fun. Please have fun, make memories, take pictures, all that stuff. And yep, enjoy your senior year. That's all I'll say.
Thank you, Ayema. That was quite a list. I enjoyed hearing you give words of wisdom to Fola and now. Fola, now you can respond to Ayema if you would like, and then I would ask that you would then share words of wisdom with Lang.
All right, so I actually have sisters that are seniors and they're about to go to college. So I heard what he said, a lot of what my sisters have said. So I agree with him in that sense. Staying fully focused on what you want to do is important. And I say the earlier you start doing something, the better. If you know you want to do something and you can, just start on it as soon as possible.
Thank you now. Fola?
Thank you for the advice, Ayame. That was really good. And also, just to build off what Niall said, I agree with the start early part. Just start trying to build your resume, I guess, when you're in ninth grade. It's never too early to start with community service opportunities, joining different organizations, and doing like fellowships and summer immersion programs. They are available to high school students. I've done a couple, so you can ask me about it if you want, but you just don't want to be a senior, or in my case, a junior, and sort of be like, well, dang, I wish I started earlier. But if you already go into it with the mindset of, okay, I'm gonna get my stuff done early, then that'll leave you successful. And also, I would say, be proactive in what you want to do. Go out for different opportunities. You only experience high school one time, so don't be reckless. But if you want to do something, then just join it. I would say also talk to new people. If you join things, it will open up opportunities to talk to different groups of people. And I think it's important to experience types of people in high school, to know who you want to keep around you, but also who you want to kind of distance yourself from. And then lastly, I would say use your resources, use the support you have around you to your benefits. Your teachers, they're there to help you. They know the course the best. So if you're ever struggling, go ask your teachers. And then also, just give yourself time to take a break and do the things you like to do.
That was amazing advice as well. Um, to the whole idea of starting early, Lang, in order to graduate from high school, you will have to have community service hours. And it always hurts my heart to see a senior in their last school year trying to hustle to get community service hours. So to their point, I would recommend that you start doing community service early as well. That was really, really good advice. I appreciate you, Fola, for calling out, you only get this experience once. So if there is a club or organization or whatever it is that you want to experience, allow yourself to have that experience. It's okay. And start to understand the differences in friends and peers and associates, right? And who gets an opportunity to have first row in your life and who you give second and third row to. That's amazing advice. Thank you now, and Fola. Lang, did you want to respond to? You can respond to now and Fola, and then we're going to ask you to close us out with words of wisdom to elementary school students who are going to middle school.
Actually, last year I started working at a food bank on weekends. It was every other week, so it was twice a month. And I never asked for hours. I just did it voluntarily with my grandparents.
Mhm.
But I guess I should start asking for forms and ask them to sign one. on that. And with the advice for elementary students, I would say it's never wrong to ask for help
Ooh,
when you're stuck with something. You'll never be shamed for asking for help.
that's amazing advice too. That's amazing advice, Lang, and I'm proud of you for already starting your community service. And yes, you need to have the people to sign off on those hours that you're doing for sure. Yeah, go ahead and start asking for the forms. So with that being said, I want to thank you, Lang. Thank you, Fola. Thank you, Now. Thank you, Ayema, for joining me one last time to catch everybody up on what you're doing this school year, some of the things that you are proud of, some of your challenges, for sharing advice with those who are coming up after you. I appreciate you so much for being open, honest, and transparent and talking about some of your, your growth areas and things, your strategies and skills that you use to help you get through and push through when motivation was running low, when you were feeling overwhelmed with all of the things. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you and wish you guys all the best in this next step of your life. I
Bye.
wanted to make good on my promise to give you an update on Darren and on Joseph, the two members of the youth council who were not able to participate in this month's conversation. So on the day that we did the recording, Joseph was participating in a track invitational. I am excited to share that Joseph and his team won first place in the track invitational. And as it relates to his academics, Joseph has reported that he made A and B honor roll all year. So congratulations to you, Joseph. Darren also had some success. On the day of the recording, Darren was participating in an event for Hap Mudo, and she won second place in form and sparring. So congratulations, Darren, on walking away with your 2 wins. And just like Joseph, Darren also made high honor roll all year.